what takes it to the point that he needs to pull out a gun?
My dad was always a trigger happy guy. As a kid, you always want, your dad's your dad, no matter who they are. You still respect him, even though, shit hit the fan. He wanted to fuck my mum up for that, for taking his kids away. Did a run, I had to go in the middle of the night. Okay, so we lived out on the sugarcane farms in the fucking village. And then I haven't seen him for months and we were scared, I had this sister and we were playing outside. We had a pool. I went around and fuck around with leaves. Mind you, I was only 4 years old, but I remember it, right? Instead of going to the pool, I look around for her. Probably spend 10 minutes before I go inside and say, hey, I can't find her. And everyone's panicking. And then when we ran outside, she was lifeless at the bottom of the pool, right? For a lot of people to understand why I do what I do. Because this is the traumas and the hell that I've been through. And then the blame you put on yourself for your whole life that shaped me who I am today. I guess that's where it started. But the thing is, I've been doing this for so long, I never knew what my capabilities are. I've always seen like, fuck, I've changed this kid's life or changed this guy's life and so forth. And I started sort of finding myself and understanding life more, if that makes sense. And now I'm like, you know what? One of my friends actually pulled me in and said, bro, you should do this. I think the first time when I spoke to you two, you said, man, you should really think about like doing this as a whole, how can I say, as your purpose. Yeah. And I sort of found my purpose now.
Yeah, so you were experiencing this thing and then it just, you got a different sense, like a different feeling?
Yeah, different feeling. Because naturally, I think I'm an empathic, what the fuck ever the word is. Empathetic human being. Sort of selfless. I've always been selfless. But the problem is by being selfless, you don't put up these, can I say, boundaries and whatsoever. So if you're a selfless person and you give, you become the light and everyone else is moths. They fucking take your light and you don't understand why you're depressed. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Once I found and understood that, I was like, fuck, you know what? Now I've sort of started learning about boundaries because I started seeing a psychologist myself because I was going pretty crazy. This is the whole lead up to this point. And then I was like, you know what? Setting boundaries, this is a new word. I'm like, fuck this, man. I'm not going to train this person or spend time with that person or give more than what I should. Right? But the problem is you can't change who you are. Does it make sense? I always thought that, fuck, I need to change. I need to be more of a hard cunt, But you can't because that's you. That's me. I might look like it from the exterior, but inside I'm soft, right? So the thing is you can't change that. So me as a giving person, I'll be more selective. Who am I more selective to now? The vulnerable and the young, which no one gives a fuck about if you think about it like that. Because look at Australia particularly, which is something I've always noticed since I got here. It's godless, it's lawless, it's no respect, no nothing. Does it make sense? Can you blame them? Probably not. But are you going to take the time out of your day to go help them? I would, because that's me. That's who I found. Can you expect everyone else to be like me? No. So you can't be angry if no one else wants to give that kid the time of day. You know what I mean?
What was it that gave you the sense from working with the kid though? Like what was the exchange of energy that made you feel like that?
Yeah, man. I reckon I've always had a soft spot for young men because I see myself in them, especially lost ones. Because I was pretty fucked up as a kid myself, right?
Do you want to talk about that? Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want to start from your early upbringing, where you grew up, when you were born, what was it like?
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah, it was pretty hectic, but...
Even from when you were born?
Yeah, look, man, I was born in 1988. Pretty much what I can remember was the first significant event as a kid growing up. I know my dad was always very strict, very hard guy. He was involved in his own things and he's younger. As he grows older, he tells me more and more the person that he used to be, and it makes sense now. Still love him to death.
Were you the only child?
No, I was the only child. Then I had a sister. I think bro, don't quote me, man. I never really spoke about this story out in the open, but I'll share it because this all forms part of who I became and the war I went through myself. I had this sister. Long story short, one day we were playing outside. I remember the day as clear as yesterday, the smell, the weather, the leaves, the trees, everything. This is a memory that's been stuck with me till this day, It's like it's one of those heavy fucking blankets you carry. And we were playing outside. We had a pool. My mum and dad and them watching movies on the inside. We were sitting next to the pool. I went around to fuck around with leaves. Mind you, I was only 4 years old, but I remember it, right? And when I was looking for her, she was gone. Instead of going to the pool, I look around for her, probably spend 10 minutes before I go inside and say, hey, I can't find her. And everyone's panicking. And then when we ran outside, she was lifeless at the bottom of the pool, right? It's very hard to talk about it. But why it's important for a lot of people to understand why I do what I do, because this is the traumas and the hell that I've been through, and then the blame you put on yourself for your whole life, right? That shaped me who I am today. I guess that's where it started, right? My, can I say, sort of like a depressed state of mind, because from there, it just got worse. So for me, I always thought my parents resented me for this. They'll probably listen to this and say no, they didn't. But I guess it doesn't matter what no one thinks, but this is what was stuck in my head. And I'm a person, I don't talk. I just keep it all in. And I'm an overthinker. And you think. And sometimes when you're an overthinker, this is probably for anybody, you will make up things in your head that's probably not true. There might be some truth to it, right? But for you, that's the 100%. You think everyone fucking hates you. Now, every action that my parents have showed made me feel like, they think because it's my fault, right? Meanwhile, they were just being strict parents. That's proper South African strict parents. You fuck up, you get smacked. It's normal. But for me, it was more like, they hate me. So every time I had another sister that was born.
But was that because you thought that everyone thought that it was your fault?
Yes.
At 4 years old?
Yes.
And sorry, was this in Durban?
Nah, this was in the hometown that we grew up as kids, was a town called Middelburg. It's like a mining town in central South Africa. Probably about an hour or 2 hours from this fucking little country town, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so, then life goes on. And yes, like I said, it's very strict parents and so forth. And all the stuff that came after, you think like, it's because I've done that. So my dad was very, very regimented. Like, I don't know if you guys know much about South Africa. So all our parents in those days fought Central Africa, Angola in the war.
Okay.
So they all were fucking shell-shocked, army-driven, strict South African manners, this, that. When I was a kid, I was a soldier, swear to God. Yeah. You can't be a kid and be playful and run around and jump on stuff. You fucking stand here. You greet everyone by hand. You kiss the aunties on the lips, and it's respect first, right? Anyway, so time goes on, life went on. My parents had another kid, a sister of mine. I think she was born in 1994. Yeah, she's 30 years old now, 31 maybe, don't know. But as she grew up, I felt she was favored. Again, that was my brain thinking, fuck. And my whole family felt sorry for me as a kid. Right? And every time the other sister, she make a peep, I'll get bashed bad, right? So meaning if me and my cousins are playing, my boy cousins, we don't want to play with her, she'll throw a tantrum, and then fucking automatically I'm gone. Again, that's just normal growing up. But again, I put that back in, okay, now who am I? You know what I mean?
If you're still with us, thank you so much. It means a lot. These conversations are held with care. And if something today has connected with you, we've poured the same love and intention into something we've created alongside this podcast. Our C60 is there to support you beyond this space. You'll find it in the show notes. All right, let's continue.
Long story short, how that went, I think that all developed in a form of depression, like heavily by the age I was 8 or 9 years old. I think I spoke to you about it, right? My parents were going through hectic stuff.
How did you know you were depressed?
I was suicidal, man. As a kid, I was planning my suicide daily. I was crying every day. I don't know why. My dad was like, why are you crying? Took me to a psychologist, said I was wasting his money. You waste my fucking money, man. What's wrong with you? They try to beat the shit out of you to get you good, right? And I was like, fuck, I just don't know. I didn't know. I just had this warm blanket of fucking, don't know what it was. It was not feeling good. I'll feel this sudden burst of euphoria. I'm like, fuck, everything's okay. Everything's all right. Okay. And then it's literally like this fucking blanket. I swear to God. That's how I always describe it. It's a blanket. I can't describe it. And all I could think about is just replaying how I'm going to kill myself at fucking 8 years old. And I remember going to school and I used to plan to sit on top of the roof and how I'm going to jump off to fucking neck myself. I'll sit on the roof and just cry all afternoon, but don't have the balls to do it. Then my parents will come home and I'll just be in my room. They're like, oh, what's wrong with you? And after a while, they gave up hope. Like, fuck, we don't know what to do with this kid. And they got a bit frustrated. And then I knew the safe's key, the code to the safe. My dad had a 3/8 special. My mum's like, got a bit frustrated. And I went and I grabbed this thing. I wanted to shoot myself with it. I guess that's sort of where they realized, no, fuck, this is serious. Anyway.
Well, was this still around 8, 9
Yeah,
years old?
that same period, yeah.
And they caught you with the gun?
No, my mum ran to the room because I went to the room. She said, "Oh, you're going to do it, do it." And I was like, all right. But again, I was sitting there with this thing, she was shitting herself. And it was like, fuck, what do you do? I don't know. Well, I just had urge to fucking die. I wasn't happy. And not long after that, fuck, we had to do a runner. So this is where it went even fucking worse because my mum and dad was not good, right? So I think that also was a contribution to this shit feeling. Did a runner, had to go in the middle of the night. We stayed at this place in the sugarcane fields between where all the villages are.
Why did you need to do a runner?
Because my dad he wanted to fuck my mum up for that, for taking his kids away.
Okay.
So he wasn't very happy.
Yeah.
God bless him if he is the, but whatever. He knows the truth. Anyway, so
Sorry,
we had to.
Can we just get into that a little bit? Because I
Yeah.
feel like it would paint the picture a little bit clearer. So there's your mum and dad were split up at this point?
Now they split up right at that period when I was fucking extremely depressed. So they split up.
Wow.
Did you
So
always
we
think it was
can't
your
just
fault?
leave. Huh?
Did you always think it was your fault when they were splitting up?
Yeah. Funny story. You asked me that because one day my mum asked me, "What do you think I should do?" And should I leave him? And I just said yes. So I always put that on myself too. Fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, but we had to do it overnight because my dad he'd probably do bad things. And
So you were fleeing the country?
No, just where we lived, the house, the
leaving
household.
the house.
So we
Okay.
lived out on the sugarcane farms in the fucking village.
Did he live with you at this point?
Yeah, we were all living
so you
together as
still
a
lived together,
family.
they
So
were
she
just
took me and
separate.
my sister and we
Okay.
went into hiding.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
And then I haven't seen him for months and we were scared, you know. And and then, man, it was fuck. We didn't go to school for a while. And then after a while, my mum had friends of ours that snuck us to school. So we go to school. And and that was it. And my dad, he sort of, I think we saw him, the things blew up over like maybe 6 or 12 months or something like that, God knows. But then he eventually just left town. He always did a runner. If things get too hard, he goes somewhere else, which is all right. That's the way he deals with things, right? And then, then that's when the shit started. So now that's happened. I've got a single mum with me and my sister. We're staying in garage to garage, you know, people's backyards and stuff and just getting by. And then I found my way out of sort of the age of, I reckon a couple of years, man, 13, 14. Then
Did you ever want to rekindle with him? Did you ever
Yeah,
want to
no, man, funny.
No, before that?
No, I'll always be respectful. I won't blame no one for nothing. I won't change anything either because he's made me who I am today with the discipline and the fucking fear of God he's struck in me. And whatever's happened has made me who I am today. I just had to deal with the trials and tribulations in my head to use that as, I guess, fire to fucking be driven as I am because I've always been fucking driven, even though I was lost. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when, that single time period is when I started fucking around with the boys on the street. Left school early. I was 15 when I left school. Started all my mates were out of school, started doing bad things on the street.
Tell us about these
what were
bad
some
things.
of the things you were experiencing?
I was always like growing up, same thing with my dad. My dad bashed me when I came home with a blood nose. I got punched on at school when I was 6 years old for the first time. So what he's instilled in me is to look after myself. So I always wanted to fight and impress him. When he was gone eventually, I wanted to impress the older boys that's out of school, be the sick cunt, you know what I mean? I'll be the first one to go fucking knock the biggest guy, even though I'm going to cop it, but they're going to go after us. Like, good work, boy. You know, you feel accepted, right? Now, if you look, like I always say this to me, look at me now, gold tooth, gold chain and I'm the product of that environment I grew up in. Everyone that I looked up to then in the streets looks like me now. Does it make sense? Anyway, so that was a big thing, that acceptance. So a lot of boys looked after me. Everyone was out of school and that whole crew of boys. And we've done also like always punch on. It was a big thing for us to sort of like keep a score. Every weekend you go out, see how many guys you can punch on with.
So
Who's
it
the
was
oldest, who's the
violent.
toughest. But that, given to South Africa is a very violent place, whether it's crime or it's just everyone wants to punch on with each other. Yeah, whether it's a racial thing, whether it's a cultural thing, or whether it's a language thing. You're English, you Afrikaans, fuck you. You know what I mean? But again, it's just.
Was it ever like? Did it get like going to like night stabbings? Guns?
Yeah.
So it would escalate as well.
Oh, 100%, man. So, we never, us in that time, forgive me for saying this, I'm embarrassed, but we never used knives ourselves. Other boys from other groups, from other cultures, other guys that would have knives or machetes or guns and whatsoever. We would, as we grew older, some of our boys had guns. But when we were younger, our biggest thing was knuckle dusters. So that's what I got to tell Rudy, because that was my tool. So you're proud I'm proud because I use my hands. I don't need tools other than a duster. Like a dirty cunt. But when we grew older, you know, your tools upgrade, and then you use, if that makes sense.
Were you still experiencing depression when you were part of that crew?
I've always experienced it, man. To be honest with you, when I was 33, I started figuring shit out, which is recent. I'm only 37 now. But back then, it's always there. So I tried everything, right?
Because you mentioned the blanket.
Yeah. I've always felt this blanket. So hence why I do these things. I try to is it acceptance I need? Is it to be a part of something? I don't know. What do I need? My mum and dad is all over the place. I don't have that. So then I look for a figure, sort of father figure. Then the boys on the street, maybe this guy, he looks after me. He tells me I'm a good boy, but he gets me to go do shit for him. And then when shit hits the fan, you cop it. Then you understand. I'm just getting your good heart is being used, right? You don't understand.
You were saying like how you mentioned back in the day, as in you used to, your parents would say things or hit you or do things for you, and you blamed yourself for things that happened. And every time you said it, you would say, "Oh, I understand now that it wasn't me, it was them or the situation or the way I was growing up, or that was just strict. They weren't."
Yeah.
When did you realize that difference, that it wasn't your fault, that it was just your life?
I've realized a lot of things very late in my life, because like I said, the age of 33, a lot of shit things. It's just everything has got to a point where I always try to do the right thing, but then things just catch up with me, whether it's bad relationships, whether it's bad choices, this, that, the other, where I get myself in shit. So you how can I say, instead of shifting blame and saying it's them, it's this or that, sometimes it's good to reflect on yourself. Maybe it's the way I think. That's why I come to the conclusion. Overthinking is your worst nightmare, right? Overthinking with an idle mind, it's like the devil's fucking playground, right? So when you think like that, you can either fall into the victim mentality. Oh, my dad bashed me. It was rough. Oh, he got onto crime, Or you can see, listen, fuckwit, there's something it's sort of, think a bit deeper. Maybe it's myself, the way I'm thinking, the way I am, an empathetic human being that's too scared to hurt people's feelings, or, overthink, or too giving. Does it make sense? That allows certain people to take opportunity, if that makes sense. Yeah. Or to put blame on other people other than yourself. So if you can turn around, which I feel I'm still learning. I don't think I'm high and mighty now and know fucking everything. I'm still, every day, Mike knows, I speak to him a lot, where I sort of try to figure things out and so forth. You never stop learning, right? But I wouldn't put blame on anything. I'd just rather say I'm more understanding of certain situations, right? And I wouldn't be angry at my past, or, this shouldn't happen, that should have happened. I believe everything happens with a reason. If you're a religious person, God might put those things on your path. If all this I just told you didn't happen, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. Does it make sense? I'd be a different person. I'll be a dickhead. You know what I mean? Or a computer programmer, God knows.
Yeah.
Look, I think just from a psychological perspective, what Paul was saying before as well, what you've mentioned was, because I see what we look for in people's story is patterns from an early childhood, which you spoke about, things like responsibility, themes of responsibility, and something called defectiveness, right? Which is like, I'm not good enough, right? And so you're saying this blanket, if this blanket is constantly on you, it repeats itself with different relationships, right?
Yes.
Especially when we get older, it repeats ourselves. And in therapy, my goal as a therapist is to help people with one foot in the past and one foot in the present. So not completely in the past and this traumatic state, because you want to go, okay, this is what's happened, but I know I've grown from this, or I'm not responsible for my sister's passing away.
But you're dead right in saying that is if you sort of blame yourself and you marinate in that, you that blanket's just going to go tighter.
Yeah.
But if you understand, you can relive that thought and understand. It's actually helped me, let's say, help cure my depression, if that makes sense. I'm not saying I'm all perfect right now. We all got our shit. But thinking like that has, how can I say, loosened that tight blanket around me. Hence why I believe, like anyone that I work with now, that's probably what makes me so good, because I've experienced a lot of nonsense, right? That I can help them by just thinking different to loosen that pressure, right? Rather than like maybe festering on it or living in it and making, I want to say play the victim mentality, because you can't, certain people don't think a certain way. But
Because what happens is we experience loss all the time, right? Whether it's a loss of a partner, loss of a business relationship, a loss of a friend. The more you're going to have it, if you're stuck into that traumatic state, then you're going to take responsibility for every loss that you're going to have in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where that work that you're saying is that you have that ability to kind of go, you know what, that happened, but it's not who I am.
Yeah. The thing you also see that you always feel like you're not good enough. You sort of put yourself second all the time. You know, that's a major thing that I've always tried to overcome, that I'm still working on. You always say, fuck, I'm not good enough. You just got this expectation of yourself, but fuck, actually we're doing as good as we can, and we're doing good things.
Do you guys have that feeling of not being good enough, and how do you overcome that?
No, I don't. It's not a thought that really, not good enough. No, I don't know. I feel like everyone's always trying to just, when I was young, definitely. Now my only race is against me. Like I'm just trying to be better than me yesterday, and I try not to compare but yeah, just always trying to make sure that like who I was yesterday, I'm better today. And that's my race, to be honest. Like, yeah, focus just on being 1% better whenever I can. That's it.
The thing is, in like like in your situation, it's a big experience for a 4-year-old. Massive.
Huge.
The trauma is the trauma,
Huge.
but it's like the problem isn't potentially the trauma, it's potentially then the home that's broken that then isn't helping you overcome it, reassuring you daily, maybe like love and, you know, because I had a strict father and I experienced, you know, to a certain degree, but I can see where I didn't have something like that happen at 4 years old. So I can see how the like where a strict father lacks love, you know, and then the lack of love as a 4-year-old trying to overcome such a traumatic situation, you know. How would you even interpret that at 4 years old?
No, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You just feel like shit.
Would you even understand death at the time? You probably like very like.
Oh man, if I can think back, like I said, I remember this day as clear as yesterday. I swear to God. And I remember crying for days on my bed because she was like my best friend. You know what I mean? So, did I feel it? Did I experience it? I never forgot it. So it's still 37 years later, well, fucking 34 years later.
Yeah.
I still think about it every day. You know, some days you have a hard day with it, and other days you be like, you know what, it's okay. Let's just put it back in the drawer and think about it later.
Do you understand like fully that it had nothing to do with you? And like, do you fully,
yes, I do.
Yeah.
But you always got that voice at the back of your head that comes out and whispers.
And like, did you have to forgive yourself? Like, forgive yourself, I guess, because you did, even though it's not your fault, you went through it like it was. So there would need to be some forgiveness involved in oneself. Did you go through a forgiveness practice or like
Nah.
just something that just
No. It's something I don't really ever speak about until now.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
obviously
wow.
like it's necessary.
Yeah.
I think my whole forgiveness thing needs to go through with my parents. If I do this whole thing, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Tell them how I feel. They'll tell me different.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
cry together and get it over and done with, and it's okay.
And
Now
that's
we can
something
put
that
this
hasn't
behind
happened
us.
yet.
No. I
Yeah,
should
wow.
probably do it.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, I'm probably saying this out loud, and I have to fucking do it. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's a good thing. It's still expressing, and maybe it could be a good way for them to actually see it. You know?
yeah.
I don't know your day-to-day life or what's going on in your life, but I feel like what you're saying right now will unlock something in you that you didn't even know you had. Because it's like the energy of forgiveness, it holds you back fully. And you're a man of God, and you know, we are men of God too, and we fully believe in, you know, the preaching of forgiveness. Energetically, it holds you back. You hold, like, we talk about forgiveness all the time, but we talk about it in the sense of other people. But I feel like you might have a lot with oneself. So what we say is like, when you don't forgive someone, it's like you're eating the poison yourself
Yeah.
and you're expecting them to die.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
100%,
So
but you're the one dying.
You really can't you can't.
But it's funny you say that because it's something that I have thought about, and I feel that it's sort of probably one of the last not last because you never stop, but one of the last things of what I'm doing, because I've been really trying to build myself and understand myself. Spent a lot of time since, like I always say, 33. So when I saw trauma specialist and I saw psychologist, I found a good psychologist, you know, to that actually understands me and helped me through all my stuff, and went through these experiences and so forth, but always learned. But I always feel that's the last cherry on the cake, is to sort of have this chat and forgive myself, forgive my parents and so forth. And maybe that is the thing that's holding me back, because I always feel I've always felt like I'm held back somehow. It's funny you say that. And to unlock that true potential, it's probably one of the last the cherry on the cake, I might say. Yeah.
That'd be good, man.
Yeah.
So let's go back to
this is a revelation.
Just quickly, just to add to it, like forgiveness is the moment that you're experiencing that ultimate sense of forgiveness. It, like, forgiveness on brain scanners has like the highest frequency. So it's one of those moments where you'll feel so much emotions rushing, and it's a profound experience. It completely changes the trajectory of your life.
What does
in the
it look
moments
like to you?
after?
What does forgiveness look like
In what sense? Anything?
in general? What does it look like? Because I can say, I'm going to forgive that person, right? But what does it look like in terms of what I do for myself and how I see that person? What does it look like? Because you can say it looks like a certain way in a religious sense or whatever sense, but everyone's forgiveness.
I feel
is
forgiveness is release of a built-up tension that you hold over yourself, because that's how I feel when there's something like maybe tension between one and another party. It's like something that's in the back of your mind, especially if you're a good person in some sense, that you actually fucking care. It sits there. And that forgiveness and telling someone, hey, I'm sorry, I fucked up or whatever, it's that forgiveness is the release of that trapped energy, I guess. And then when that releases, you feel more at ease, because I know I've done the right thing, whether I'm wrong or the other person's wrong. Maybe in this sense where I think I need to forgive myself for this, it's something I need to figure out to do with myself, right?
Yeah.
And that's usually when I work with people that have problems with anger management, right? Or aggressive behaviors, the first thing I always talk to them about is, what's your self-talk like? It's not about what they're doing with other people, how they're reacting to other people. I try to talk to them about forgiving themselves and being kinder to themselves. Because the minute you're kind to yourself, you'll start to change how you act towards others.
Yeah, you're dead right, man.
You know?
So many people have told that to me.
It's
The exact same thing. Because we are our own worst enemy. We're our own worst critics.
Yeah.
Some more than others, right? And once you can forgive yourself and kind to yourself and give yourself that bit of credit that you deserve because you worked hard in your own way, I guess that makes a massive difference, right?
Massive.
Yeah, well, it's going to unlock a new sense of love for yourself that then like the neural part on a physical level, that you're opening up new neural pathways to a new sense of feeling, a new relationship with yourself, you know? So like that, it's a whole different state of consciousness after after you've forgiven something that needs to be forgiven, something that there's the blockage.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you love yourself? Like, are you in that place?
I'd like to say yes. I was about to say this. There's like the thing people always say, you have to love yourself. But I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
You look
because
like
I
you're
can't
a
see it.
disciplined man. That's the first form of
beg your pardon?
self-love. You look like you're a disciplined man.
Yeah.
That's the first form of self-love.
There's being disciplined because my standards are high. I like to be clean. I like to be neat. I like to be fucking groomed or whatever you want to call it. And I like to train and stay on top of that because that keeps me sane. But do I love myself to give myself enough credit of being a good father, a good partner, a good person in life for other people? Even though, like I always say this, people say, Gwayne, man, you do such good things. Fuck, you're such a good father. I don't feel it for some reason. It's like I've got this barrier. I'm like, no, I'm not. There's so many things in my head, obviously caused by past traumas and that's got this blockage where I can't get to that point where I'm like, man, I'm proud of myself. I love myself. But what I've recently that brings me that joy and pride upon myself is the stuff that I do with kids. And I see like, fuck, I've changed this kid's life. I'm like, wow, these parents speak to me. I'm like, fuck, did I do that? I'm so happy. That's why I love doing that so much, right? But this is one of my biggest things currently, what you're talking about, is to find that way to love myself, to respect myself, to respect my boundaries and my wants and my needs, not in a selfish way, but for myself to, how can I say, progress further.
You mentioned before, you had the self-awareness, and you mentioned that like you were a product of your environment with your the way you look, you're hanging around. In the same way that the way you're feeling now is a product of your environment when you're young. So it's not really you, it's just what you experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like you talking about that now is actually going to help you a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're holding it in so much. And like,
man, I promise you, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, man, this should have
story,
happened because I'm going to put this as a mental note and actually work on it. Actually, maybe speak to my parents,
We had a guy last week and like, we fucking like, he was telling us his story and it was the first time he's told his story. And I mentioned that before. And man, I was sitting there telling him like, bro, your story is your fucking superpower. Like that is who you are. That's what, man. And you say it, you know it. Because you're sitting here saying, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be who I am today. Just like embrace this. Like, I know some of the story is very dark, but that's who you are. That's where you've come from. That's your it's your superpower.
Yeah.
That's what you need to embrace. Instead of like rejecting it, embrace it. It's who you are.
100%. It's funny you say that because I'm always reluctant to tell the story. I thought today, fuck it, I'm gonna. Because I spoke to Mike, and Mike said it's important people know. Because for me, I've got this big thing in my head. I don't want to sound like that guy, me, I, my dad, this, that, but that's my war in my head.
Man.
Your story is your story.
Yeah,
I get that. But now this is where the overthinking mind comes in place. I don't, you know what I'm trying to say?
No, I get it.
Same with the kids. A lot of people say, man, you should tell these kids. I said, man, when I work with these kids or these young adults, or maybe some adults too, because I helped a lot of close mates of mine from bad places. And I always say, I said this to Mike too, is like, I speak in a way, my body language, my answers, my gestures, and whatever I do shows you I've got the exact same experience and I know what you're talking about. Whether you've been involved with this or you've been through that or you experienced loss or death or murder or I've seen it and I can answer in a way without me trying to measure dicks with you. Oh yeah, bro, I've been through this, that. That means I'm discarding your feelings now. I'd never do that. So I answer them in a way. Yeah. Does it make sense?
Do you think that you're worried about, because you were like, I guess you would have been seeking validation in a time that you didn't get it. Do you feel like now you're trying to people please from that as a young age? And do you ever see it like that?
No. Yeah. Look, I won't lie, man. I think I am sort of like a yes man. I always do the best for everyone else. Like I mentioned, I'm selfless. Yeah. But I don't seek validation at all. Okay. No. Validation, I think when I seek validation as a kid trying to fit in, oh, hey, I want to be a sick cunt and punch on and want to look like these guys back home.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So like You left school at like 15?
Yeah.
From there, what was the course? Like, what was the course of life?
Yeah. So
Where'd
the
you
course
up to
was
20s and
from that. One thing that I've always done, and this is the discipline my dad has instilled in me, is always make sure I make something of my life. So I've always been fucking hardworking, no matter what. I was getting into trouble, getting into shit, but I always knew that I need to do the right thing. So I've worked, well, before I started working, like, man, I was, like I said, I was doing naughty shit, robbing house parties, stealing cell phones just before I went out of school, bad stuff that I was influenced with these people I was around with, right? No, I'm not proud in no way saying this shit. I'm just saying it as it is.
were you always influenced to do that stuff, or did you sometimes just do it for your own sake of doing
I just did it to back then too. Is like we wanted new shoes, man. We wanted the new fucking Osiris shoes that came out back in those days. You know what I mean? Something cool, nice Quicksilver t-shirts. Back then I was wearing my cousin that's 10 sizes older than me, hand-me-down shirts that's yellow, not white anymore. So that's one thing. We're like, fuck this, we got to make money. And South Africa, we don't have money like here. We're poor, man. If I can describe to you, man, we used to scratch for fucking cents in between the couches to go buy bread, walk 4 kilometers in the morning to go buy a fucking loaf of bread, and then nibble on the crust of it before you get home and just cop the hiding because you ate the crust and the rest can't eat. Does it make sense? That's so you're like, okay, Matt, I can do this. I know it's wrong, but fuck it, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I think by the age of 17, I sort of reconnected with my dad. He wanted me to come stay with him, stay far away, close to Johannesburg on a farm, city called Pretoria. Stayed there for a year, worked on his farm. I was in his school. Thought, okay, sweet, I can reconnect with him and so forth. And then he got me a job as a tool boy electrician. And I was like, fuck. Now I was in the middle of the bush. I had no friends, fuck all there. So just me, him, and the auntie he was with, and my uncle stayed on another farm down the road, right? I was like, okay, turning 18, started as a tool boy electrician. And then after a year, me and him had a massive fallout. I think he chased me off his property with his 38, the same 38. I ran to my uncle's farm and I said, fuck it. The next day I went back to Durban area. It was with the city, this town was called Richards Bay. Went back there.
So what was it like reconnecting with him though?
It was good. I thought, fuck it, I haven't seen him in years. You know, all this shit went on. As a kid, you always want, you know, your dad's your dad, no matter who they are. You still respect them. Even though, you know, shit hit the fan and so forth.
And like, was it just like a typical, like just father-son fight? Or was it something serious? Like what made it a tipping point? Like what gives him, like what takes it to the point that he needs to pull out a gun?
Like my dad was always a trigger happy guy, right? I've seen that 3-8 fly. I've seen that 3-8 fly many times. I've seen him shot people like fucking house breakings. People come in, shoot the shit out of someone. He was always a trigger happy guy. Yeah. He had a very colorful past back in the day.
Okay. Was he sort of part of like those groups in the streets and stuff like that? Or was
he's
it different?
from older crew. You know, he's old school. He's older, man. Back then, I can't remember. He's 63 now, I think. Spoke to him on his birthday the other day, 22nd of November. So, but anyway, he was just a hard old guy. What brought it to that? So we used to drink a lot. He smoked weed his whole life. That's all they used to. He used to be a fucking flower child, bikey, hippie back in the day. It's been everything, this old man. Long story short, he was always very aggressive. So he would drink. I don't like to drink. I was young. I would just chill. He always look for shit with me. I always wear a cap since I was fucking 12. I would wear a cap. He hit my cap. And one day I thought I was going to stand up against him. Stood up from the couch, pushed him. What? Up to the safe.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I was just fucking said, fuck this. You do that. Fuck you, man. Just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Pointing, and then disappointing. Bye-bye. Look, I laugh about it now, man. It's fucked up. This is what I said to you before. Like, I tell people stories. They're like, but what can I do? Sit here and cry? And like fucking think, again, victim mentality. My dad did this, that. I love him, man. I don't care. That's him. I am who he molded. And I won't change anything from that.
100%.
Because I'm proud of who I am today. Because what can I do today is the shit that we were talking about.
And that's self-love, baby.
yeah, tough love, yeah. That's it.
You do have a very move forward attitude.
Yeah.
You tend to move forward, move on with things.
Very relentless with my momentum and very resilient. And the reason why is this is why I said before, this shit has made me do whatever it takes to work as hard as I can so that I don't have to be in South Africa with the family and my wife one day to make them experience that shit or anything like that ever. Because what I do now and the future I'm building now, I don't give a fuck if I drive Ferraris, I got this or that. But by the time I'm done and I put my head down, my kids to come, my daughter now and whoever comes next and my wife, don't have to do what I had to do, skip a country, survive all this shit and go through all this hell. So when I die, I want to set them up. That's my sole mission.
I'm assuming your dad's father was most likely aggressive towards him too. So it sounds like you broke the family curse, man.
Yeah.
Generational.
Yeah, he was a fiery old Maltese guy because the background's Maltese.
Yeah.
So.
Did you? When did you leave Joburg to come to Australia? When
South
did you
Africa.
flee?
So I left Richards Bay. I left in 2015, and I came here. I had an opportunity to work with a very, very good guy, Michael Slepoy, the guy that him and his brother Larry Kisselman, they owned the NBL. They used to have Dodo Electricity and so forth.
Yep.
So I worked directly for Michael. Yeah, so got a sponsorship. I was the project coordinator.
Wow.
Yeah. Because my background, so this is what I was saying, the electrician tool boy. I ended up doing my trade as an electrician when I was 21. Yeah, and then worked further, always pushing to be something. And I ended up working for...
At 21, you're a tool boy, you've graduated the electrician.
Yeah.
What was like your mental state like? And
I've always carried with me, right? Yeah. And I've dampened it with women. Fucking my first trade pay was a lot. Bought new cars every year. This was back home. Another thing, a detail that I skipped out of there is I've always been like with this, up until about 21, I was in that year after I was with my dad on the farm from 18 to 19, got back in with the boys and that, but always still worked hard, make sure I did what I do to get this trade. Because there's one thing, you don't just get a trade back home, you must fucking work. And bro, I can sit here for 2 days, story for another campfire, but I would work my ass off on the mines, bro. You know what I mean? Finally got the opportunity to do my trade, took it with both hands, qualified at the age of 22. But prior to that, my part of seeking is when I got into fighting as a sport, is when I got baptized at 22 and started kickboxing. So I always said Jesus Christ and kickboxing saved my life. So I've always been religious. How did that all
come about, man?
Because I've always liked fighting, like for the wrong reasons. I thought, I started seeing, MMA started developing. Every guy had a tap out t-shirt and shit like that. Saw it in the papers, there's a few boys doing it. It's like, fuck, this is mad. Anyway, and our local town had a kickboxing club in the town hall where they're all just doing kickboxing. And I said, fuck, I'll give it a crack. Yeah, it was good. That's how I started my whole fighting journey. And that's in 2008, 9, I think.
You sounded like a, rough around the edges at the age, punching on.
Yeah.
How did the baptism come about?
The baptism, so the baptism, I had a friend back then that was very, very Christian. Unknowingly, I sort of helped him out of his bad state, not with Christianity, but by getting him into not going out partying and shit like that. So we're all trying, just finding, at that age, you don't know who the fuck you are, what you're trying to do, trying to find yourself. And he eventually fucking went full Christian, got baptized in that. And he's always on my neck, like, bro, you should do it. And I always felt like people walk around with the Bible under the arm, they bash you with it. And the more you are like that, the more resilient I became, resistant I became. I was like, no, fuck off, man. And I guess just one night, he just said, man, you should just do it. After many months of like talking about it and that, I started becoming open to it because I was so desperate to find something to help me feel better because of all the shit that's inside me. Let's call it the blanket. So I tried. So I thought maybe going fully like into getting baptized as a Christian and doing this kickboxing, maybe that helped a bit. It sort of taught me good morals and so forth and the other. To this day, I'd say I'm religious. Do I ever speak about it? No, I keep it to myself because I feel it's my personal journey. When I feel I need to speak to people about it, I would. But it helped a bit back then. And then the whole journey from then started to you know, competing, fighting. Started shaping up a little bit better, but still seeking for like, how the fuck am I going to get rid of this feeling? Because it always lingered. You know, I might have longer periods of like, I'm not thinking about it because I'm distracted, and all of a sudden I hit a dip. And I wouldn't tell people, but I'd be fucking sitting and I'd be plotting, and I'd have this whole thing. I've always had this one thought that plays through my head, and how and who and how I'll do it. It's funny, it's weird, it's unexplainable. Doesn't matter what, who says what. Like, again, people tell you, the more people tell me, oh, Gwayne, you're such a good person and that, the more I'm thinking you're lying. You know what I mean? It's that fight you've got inside your head. And I feel a lot of people.
Effectiveness that we spoke about.
And doesn't matter. And the more people tell you it's going to be okay, and that, it actually makes it worse. So then I wouldn't even speak to people about it. I just suffer in my silence. No, I can get out of it, hopefully good. And then, continue building.
From a psychology perspective, why does that happen?
So, you know, Gwayne spoke about this blanket that kind of sits with him. And what I was saying earlier is that when you have this kind of specific traumatic event that's happened, you're going to live your life with these patterns of people that if they kind of go, okay, I don't really like what you're saying, or you have a fight with them, or something happens to them, you start to take the blame, you know, and it kind of repeats itself. If it's with a girl or if it's with someone else, it repeats itself until you start to kind of realize and understand the pattern.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to kind of, so we try to build awareness around the pattern, where then you go, now I know the pattern, how can I change my perspective about it?
Yeah.
And say, it's actually not my fault. And like what Paul was saying before, it's about stepping into the forgiveness rather than saying it's me, right? Because you forgive yourself first before you forgive other people as well. And I think, you know, one question I did have though was, what was the point of when you started boxing and you realized I can't really just bash people off the street anymore. I've got to use it to as a sport. What was that point?
There was that point, like that was mentioned 21, 22, when I said I got baptized and started kickboxing, where I stopped doing it recreationally and did it as a sport. The thing is though, I did it as a sport. I remember I said this in the interview once before when I started the kickboxing. I thought I was a sick cunt, man. Everyone knew Gwayne, you know, the hero of the town, rocked up at training. You got bashed by this guy that looks like a nerd, right? So that was massive, right? So, but that also, it scarred my ego, but it also made me like, fuck, I want to do this. And I just continued training. I was never the best, most skilled fighter. I never thought I was going to be the next big thing. I just really enjoyed putting myself to that test and going there and getting bashed, and then eventually starting to be competitive with boys at kickboxing. I think I did my first kickboxing tournament, and 3 months in, won heavyweight, gold medal, was mad. Got my eyes split and everything, broke the guy's nose. But that's my first tournament I won. And then after that, I did a few more kickboxing tournaments and then started doing MMA, got bashed, but I never cared. A lot of people would go in there as if they're in the UFC and then go fight and then win. Or sometimes they win and it's easy and they go through the roof. It's okay, you won or whatever. But when I lost, I was still excited. My first fight, MMA, I fought in my home crowd in a casino. Lost like an idiot in front of my home crowd, in front of everyone that thought I was the man. But I got out of there and I was fucking psyched. I took a fight the very next week at a smaller event, but still I went a little bit further, went 2 rounds in and lost it in the 3rd round. But that's how much I just enjoyed it. Like I said, I was never the most skilled. It was never about wins or losers. It was just, I think about the feeling it gave me, and that feeling, maybe that distraction of doing the wrong things or going drinking and that. Back then, we didn't even know what good diets was. But my good diet was not drinking alcohol or doing drugs and getting involved. And I'll go eat my 3 pies and 4 Powerades. I thought that was a good diet. I had a fucking stomach back then. You know, I didn't care, didn't know, but it was all right. Eventually, I started like tuning up and doing a little bit better. But again, I was never the best at it. I didn't really care. I just really enjoyed the experience. What I really loved, what I've learned from the sport is what it gave me, the world of experience I've learned training all over the world and so forth. The different disciplines I've I've trained under jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, K1, Muay Thai, this, that, and the other, boxing in particular. But the gift is that I have is I can use boxing as a tool to change people's lives. Now, I've found that I'm a really good boxing coach for many years now. I've better coaches than I've ever been a fighter, that's for sure. But my ability to coach, I've developed now, and this is where we are today, where I'm like, fuck, man, I've actually got something special because I've got the ability to change lives, and I've always used boxing as the tool. Now, it's not about boxing as a sport so much anymore. I can teach you as a fighter, doesn't matter what level you are. I've worked with a lot of fighters to become great fighters and win. A beginner that never boxed, teach him boxing and do good. Amateur, whatever level you are, if you're a striker, kicker, whatever. But what I've taken out of that is I love using boxing as a tool to break barriers with people and create change in their life. And this is the gift that I've got with especially these young ones I work with, is using boxing and being the person that I am. Like can I say, breaking those barriers.
I just got a question, sorry. When you see a kid, say for example, 16, 17, getting amongst gangs or working with, getting on the street and getting into a lot of fights, and they come to you and you're their trainer, and this is like I want you to think of this question as, you're looking at yourself as a 17, 18-year-old, right? When does that kid realize fighting in the street is not really worth it, or when smacking someone in the street is not really worth it, and they're just kind of use that energy and that frustration or whatever anger they have with this tool called boxing? When do they start noticing that?
If you put it this way, if I look at myself, is when I started knowing that, is when I started giving attention to the sport. The key thing about this is having the right person applying it. Because back then, most of my coaches that's certain characteristics of what I have today. You can go as that kid to another gym. You're going to walk out there. That depends on the coach. That coach might ruin a potential world champion. But they're not going to give him light of day. Who's this little shit? Oh, fuck, put him into sparring. Kid gets bashed the first day. Fuck it, it's not for you. Get going. Don't get me wrong. That's just that coach. You can't blame him for it. That's their style. But if you get a person that can actually see, all right, this kid's got issues, right? Maybe it's myself. This is why I'm good at it, because I can see they open their eyes or look at me at the eyes and open their mouth. I can already see where they're coming from, who they are. And the turning point, which is applied by the teacher, which is myself or whoever else can do this, because you always hear this with the fighting sports. Certain coaches help them, but is when they actually apply themselves. It's up to me to create the interest and want them, I'll call it buy-in, to get buyback. So whatever I do gets buyback. Once I get that, I can mold them. Once they realize that is when they start training and they're hitting the pads or the bag, like, fuck, fighting is not the fighting that I'm used to. That's a load of shit. There's a lot more science to this. I need to be fit. I can't even breathe. I just had a puff of my vape before I came here, which most of these kids do, right? Can't breathe, can't stand. Like, I don't even have my hands up. Then they realize, fuck, there's more to fighting. Then you get in there, then you infiltrate and you mold.
Nice.
Does it rely on the relationship that you form with them as well a lot?
100%, I believe that. 1,000,000%. Building a relationship is something that I'm really, really good at, right? In any case, in any level. But I believe with these young ones is I don't have anything I do. I don't have it scripted. Like today, I'm just talking. When they come in, I speak to them like I've known them from yesterday, right? I ask them certain questions so they get comfortable. I respond a certain way so they understand, hey, this guy's not some square. Does it make sense? Nothing put on, nothing. I'm literally who I'm here, who you're listening to now, that's how I speak to them, but on their level, on their frequency. Once I got that, I wish I could. So one day I'll do a video on it, man. I'm working with these kids from Ignatius School. The teachers every time is like, man, they came here, they didn't want a bar of it. They were kicking and screaming. And I said, man, as soon as they put the wraps on, you started talking to them. They did the whole session. They didn't want to leave. Now I see them every Tuesday, Thursday. Now the group's growing. From one person, now there's 3, 4. Been working with them for 3 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks. You know what I'm trying to say? So once you get that buy-in, that, how can I say, that want, that unforced upon response from them. Yeah, man, the world's your oyster, and that's why I step in. And then I drop little bits of knowledge. I call it, I plant seeds. Cool. Say something. I see them might think. No, I know they're thinking. Later on, I ask a question. They say, yeah, what's going on with that? Then it relates to the seed I planted. I water. I walk away. Yeah, this is the best way. Then I keep watering that seed. After a while, I've got a solid young man here. He's starting to ask questions. He's listening. His eyes are on me. He's listening. He's actually learning. Hey, good work. Your jab cross is looking good. Poof. That seed, that plant's growing. The tree's growing.
Are you constantly consciously doing this, or was it something that you just did as a coach? Because
No, I naturally do this.
Yeah.
I do it with everybody. You know what I mean?
And what's the goal? Like,
The goal is to create that one. If I can just get, I always say there's 1% of course diversion for this kid. That's 1% to the best, because I'll never forget it. Right, the kids I used to work with at St. Joseph's back in the day. I told you the story before. The other day, a good mate of mine came from New Zealand. We used to work together at my old gym. He showed me this photo from back in the day of me and these kids, all these kids from bad backgrounds from St. Joseph's. And he showed, look at this kid now. I actually want to do a video on this kid. It's a fucking amazing story. Get goosebumps. These kids used to send me letters at the end of the year after I worked with them because I did this program. I used to fucking cry. I'll say it out loud, man. If you read this and you don't know what you're doing, but this kid tell you stuff that you were talking about 6 months ago. I'm like, fuck, I don't even remember this, but this changed him. So this particular kid, man, this kid's boxing full on now. I looked at his fucking Instagram. I was like, look at this kid. I won't name names. But I was like, man, so proud of you. I actually messaged him, started following him on Instagram. I was like, you little shit. Look at you, man. Bro, boxing hard. And he was in a bad space back then. But he's a classic example of one of those kids where I planted the seed, I watered it, and today he's fucking looking healthy, looking solid, fighting like a mad
How old are these boys?
That boy at that time, I think he was 17.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel proud?
Very proud, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said before, like other people's happiness and success is one of the very little things in life that make me happy. Yeah.
Is that what drives you now?
That drives me. I feel like I found my purpose.
Yeah.
Like I felt it before because I know I did well in the gym industries and so forth. They were everyday people. But the soft point for me is what I realize I've got, that person to look up to is to the young ones.
You can see it's your purpose just from the way you light up, bro. You fucking
Yeah. I get excited.
It's amazing.
And would you say it's different to wanting to get a title fight to helping someone? Like as in your own personal title fight, would that be different to
if I want to go for a title fight?
Yeah.
Fuck that, man. Like I think I said to him before, like 10 grand and helping that kid, I'd rather help that kid. Does it make sense? I don't give a fuck about, sorry, I don't mean to swear. I don't give a hell about, I don't give a shit about all that. I know money buys the whiskey at the end of the day, but yeah, if you're going to make it about that, a funny story, I'll explain it. Like I had a few occasions when I speak about this, but then I see their eyes light up. Not light up like your eyes are lighting up. And I was like, fuck, he's actually doing good. They just light up and like they see me as a commodity. Bro, we can take this big. We can do this. We can do that. I was like, nah, man. No, you're making it about something else. For me, my first priority is to do good for these people. Whatever else comes. Who cares? I don't care, right? This is generally something that makes me happy. And man, not everything is a commodity. Not everything is about money. Right? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Money buys the whiskey at the end of the day. Like everyone, we need to get ahead. But this is a passion project. This is something that I do for love and that I intend to grow.
If you're still here, I really appreciate you. We don't take these conversations lightly. And if today has stirred something in you, we've created something alongside the podcast to support that journey. Our C60 was built with the same intention you're hearing now. It's linked in the show notes. All right, let's continue. Do these kids seek that acceptance from you?
What do you mean?
Like the acceptance that you were like when you were a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to, with the older
100%.
boys.
Yeah, 100%. Because that's something that I always identify is, if you look at me from the outside, you meet me today for the first time, you think, fuck this guy, look at his tattoos and this, that. I can be assertive, but I'm actually a nice guy. And I guess that dynamic is what throws people off. Now, for these kids that look at fucking Gwayne, he's a sick cunt. I've had a few fights. I can box. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. But I'm also speaking with love and care, and which is the difference. If they go out on the street, go look for that same acceptance, they'll rock up with people like me. You know what I mean? But it's going to be the same landmines I stepped in back in the day.
Different.
Now, this is the different dynamic, right? I know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not here for the wrong intentions. I'm here for good intentions. And I sort of, it's a word you call it, sort of like a shock. Yeah, you see me, I start speaking like, fuck, this guy's actually all right.
Your look's the decoy. They think, I'm with this tough guy. And then it's like, this tough guy is like talking about love. Or like
I always say this, I can love you to death or I can beat you to death. But I prefer love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck, it's good. You're playing undercover cop.
Because he's getting, and I think it's really important that we talk about this because you know, even in society today, I've worked in youth prisons for a long time too, and there's a lot of people that have opinions on youth without working with them. And that's the difficulty with today, right? People have a lot of opinions of how kids are acting up and what they're doing in society. But no one's actually spending time with them.
That's the problem. That is the problem. I'm going to tell you a funny story. I've always had this mindset, and this is, again, with kids. People are like, fuck, they've got this opinion on homeless people. Right? Oh, well, don't give them money. They're going to buy alcohol and drugs. What do you expect them to buy? Or save up for a mortgage?
Yeah.
They're not. What are you going to do? Unless you want to take the time, go to that homeless guy, take him home, bath him, spend time with him, try help him. Otherwise, what do you expect he's going to do with the money? I go buy a beer and go sit with him and drink it. Does it make sense? And exactly what you're saying with the kids now, right? I'm not condoning drug use and stuff for homeless people, but this is my logic. So same thing. I see this in Victoria, especially in Australia. Like I said, since I got here 10 years ago, but especially now, there's this youth crisis and so forth. Everyone's youth crisis. Throw them, crucify them. Who the fuck's doing actually something good? There's no one wants to, I don't know, you can't blame them. People are busy with their everyday life. People's got other causes and that. But if someone wants to, if you can do something, do something. Use boxing, use whatever, whoever you are, help, do something about it rather than sitting there and saying, don't give the homeless guy $10, he's going to buy drugs.
Like, it's a very good point, man.
Yeah.
It's a very good point. Like at school, kids get, boys at that age, then they fuck up because there is shit going on mentally in the background, traumas, but they get expelled, they get suspended. They get into positions that when then they have more time to either could do two things, like could send them to work or it could send them to the streets, you know? For me, that sent me to work.
Yeah. But not everyone's in that dynamic.
Not everyone gets that.
A greater percentage is going to be like, I get expelled. I'm actually going, let's say young Gwayne, you're going through all this shit. Now, the only thing that was good for you, but no support at home or whatsoever, and the only people with open arms is all those guys, the bad guys. Yeah. That's the majority, unfortunately, right?
And just going back on that, and the exact point where my brain goes is, if you look at this thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is our most basic, it's like a pyramid of needs, right? Our most basic need is food, water, shelter. Then it comes sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Right?
I've seen that.
So if you've got food, water, and shelter at your home, but your parents are out and, they're causing chaos, you don't feel loved, you're not held, then you're going to look for that somewhere else. And that's the reason why. And you can't progress further up this pyramid unless you have these things like
basic needs. Yeah, basic needs. Belonging and basic needs.
And that's where young Gwayne would have gone, who are these boys? They're going to open their arms. And that's where a lot of these boys see Gwayne now, which is amazing, and that's why I think boxing is, and what you're teaching and doing is such an amazing outlet,
Yeah, and this is, it's so amazing. And you always hear people say, what's your purpose? You got to find your purpose in life. I swear to God, I just found my purpose in the last fucking year, where I realized, fuck man, this is what I love doing. This is what I want to pursue along, just bringing as much change as I can and working with these youngsters. Like I said, me and Mike's been talking about this for the last year almost.
Yeah.
We're saying, okay, fuck, man, this is what now I started the process. I've got a few boys I'm working with. One that I work with tightly. God bless his soul, good kid, man. But work with him pretty much every day.
And what's the program? Like, how are you working with these kids? Is it at schools or is it in a gym?
No school. So with this particular young man, I've met him a couple of months ago. Probably a year now, a couple of months. But anyway, so he's sort of on the spectrum.
Sort of, or is he on the spectrum?
No, he's in the spectrum.
He's on the spectrum.
He's on the
okay.
spectrum. I just don't want to say too much. I feel
it's
bad.
okay. It's okay.
But, I don't want to discuss other people's stuff. But, he struggles a lot, man.
What does he struggle with?
I think autism, depression,
Yeah.
anxiety and all these kind of things. But it took him a while to come. It took him about 3 months. Then he came, but he wanted to train with me. They saw me on socials and that, and I think they heard about me. I said, come train with Gwayne. That's all right. Started training him once a week. Never spoke to me, very quiet. Trained him, and you'd sometimes have outbursts in the ring, like getting frustrated. But again, like I didn't like everyone else is like, what the fuck's going on? I just make sure he understands. Don't worry about no one fucking else. Worry about yourself, right? Don't break your rhythm. Every time you feel like you're gonna break your rhythm, you get frustrated, we change it. So I started mastering his emotion. Then got to a stage where he like have an outburst when we train. You go, oh fuck. I was like, no, if you say that again, you're gonna do 20 fucking push-ups every time. He got to a stage, me and him started getting close and he started talking to me. So he got to a stage where as soon as he gets very frustrated and aggressive, he drops down, does 20. Anyway, so I started building this good relationship with him, man. I'm really proud of this kid, man. And from him not wanting to leave his room to coming to me, pretty much spend like for the last 3 months, he spent every day with me.
Wow.
I would get him at 9 o'clock. He'll finish at 4 o'clock. I taught him, sort of integrate him with people at the gym. Started working with, other colleagues in the gym, other trainers. Started teaching him how to hold pads. The fucking young man started holding pads probably better than most of my trainers that used to work there. Anyway, I started holding pads. So I said, okay, what do you want to be, man? So sort of go into a career path. You want to be a trainer? Yeah, I want to be a trainer. I want to box, I want to train. Sort of what I do. I was like, okay, mad. Started teaching him how to hold pads, started getting him in PTs. Like some of the trainers that just volunteered. I give him a little something and it feels like I've got a sense of achievement. So every week I'll give these parents like a weekly overview. This is what we're doing. This is what I see that's helping. This is what he's struggling with, whether it's timekeeping, whether it's building rapport, whether it's being a little bit more open, whatever. But we worked on every single bit, and he's fucking, like I said, man, it's almost another tearjerker. If I go through the full in-depth story, it's an amazing fucking story.
You fully took him under your wing. What made you do that? Like, what was
because I gave a fuck.
Yeah.
And I felt like no one did, Of course, his parents did, but they were at a point where they're like, fuck, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I just said, man, just please give him to me. Because again, I remember seeing him the first day and I've got the ability to read someone without you opening your mouth. I feel your pain, man. It's a curse, a blessing and a curse. And it'll deeply disturb me. And then when I heard his backstory, I could relate. I'm like, man, please. And I felt like I've had the recipe to help. And I had a really, really good impact on him. Worked with him for like the last 3 months to taking a bit of a break now, December, and then build him up starting from next year again and, do our thing and keep working on him. And the whole goal is to make him feel belonged, but make him feel belong. Is that the right fucking English? Yeah. Give him a sense of achievement, work towards something. He doesn't want to just be like, oh, my family is this name and I'm just going to, freeload. He actually wants to work. He actually wants to do something, make something. Actually has a goal in this fitness industry, which I believe I'm a figure that he looks up to. Like, fuck, I want to be like Gwayne, one day have my own gyms and so forth. And I was like, man, I'll just stick with me and I'll show you the way. But this is the things you need to do. This is how you speak to people. This is how you control your emotions and your anger, because sometimes you can't control it. And of course, because people with, that level of autism, it's hard to control sometimes, but it's okay. I mean, even went to the point where I'm sort of working with this psychologist, so me, the psychologist, and the families in the group, and then we work from all angles. I hear see what we can do, how we can build it without saying too much, and then just try to do our best to help build. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I've got a lot of autistic people in my life, and they're actually the hardest people to get through, man. So well done.
And
But
and just on that,
I'm proud to say, and I say this with the biggest love, man. It's hard.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand shame, what people go through. But for me, again, man, it comes easy, and I've got the fucking patience of an elephant. I don't know.
and it's amazing that you have that patience. I think on neurodivergence, because that's what it's. Neurodivergence is on a spectrum, right? Autism is on a spectrum, as we know. And just going back onto, like people with autism, they often, I've written a few things down. The world can feel often too loud for them, or too bright for them, right? Because their brains are just wired differently. Changes can be really stressful. Socializing takes a lot of energy, going to family events, all that kind of stuff. They might get tired really quickly. Routine helps them feel safe. And that's where boxing, and I wrote down, because I had a thought about, what we spoke about. And, because many kids with autism, and especially teenagers, they're sensory seekers, right? They're constantly looking for their senses to kind of be fulfilled, whether it's gaming, lights, whether it's anything, right? So hitting the pads and a rhythmic kind of movement in a controlled force, meets that need in a safe way and a controlled way, because everyone has these needs, especially kids with autism. And autistic kids need that kind of outlet, that tool that you're talking about having a need met in a safe and controlled way.
That's
so
it.
You've built this kind of relationship with this kid where you've kind of paired, like you said earlier, you paired the really cool part of who Gwayne is with this tool of boxing, and you've said, here's a bit of discipline, here's a bit of, we call it in psychology, we call that classical conditioning, where it's like, you instead of, if your dog is if you want them to sit, you're going to give them a treat after they sit. So you're giving him a treat after he does 50 push-ups.
100%.
So you're praising him. You're saying how good he is. So he's learning. He's rewiring his brain, and he's learning.
Yeah, and I tell you, like when we had that solid structure, he was so true. You're saying solid structure makes them thrive. As soon as there's a dent in it for them, it's dead right, man. They sort of crack if there's no structure, if there's no something to help with the senses and so forth. When the whole routine is not there, they can't handle it, which is so true. I've seen it happen with him.
Which is why also, sorry to keep talking.
That's all right.
But which is why routine in a structured way can be really helpful, right? And just again, going back on this whole youth, because I have a big passion on how society sees youth, right? And if we look at a neurotypical, which is a brain that's not autistic, a brain like ours, it takes us until we're about 25 years old to actually develop a part in our brain that understands consequences.
Yeah.
Right? And so then they say, if you're going to go and break into this house, what's the worst case scenario? Are you going to end up in prison? They don't understand that.
No.
Prefrontal cortex.
Their prefrontal cortex is not working, right?
Yeah.
And so then that's why I love boxing, because I think boxing actually teaches you consequences.
Yeah.
The harder you hit.
Drop your hand, you're going to get flogged.
If you drop your hand, this is going to happen.
Perfect tool.
And that's why it's an amazing tool.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great tool to teach kids at a young age.
Yeah.
I've always been an advocate in youth prisons for it, but they just don't seem to want to do that because they think it promotes.
It's understandable because there's a stigma behind it. One thing I mastered with the fitness boxing gym industry with my involvement is to sway away from the stigma of it's like a heavy gym, going to get your head caved in and it's all full of people with attitude and so forth. Now, put that aside, that's one thing I'm mastering by myself is to make people, the common public, to think, well, fuck, I guess I don't do any justice, you know what I mean, if you look at me, but the common public to think it's not all about people with heavies or bad people and so forth. Boxing, my main goal especially with this, is to get it seen as this positive tool. It's not full of the wrong people and so forth, or inciting violence. And fucking, if anything, it does the opposite, right? It does the opposite. It gives them that release, coupled with someone, a great coach, whether it's me or any other great coach out there, that can actually have the power and the ability to use both these great attributes and create change, right? It's not about the violence or the people that give it a bad name, God knows, but it's not as bad as people think. And I think this is one of my biggest missions I want to accomplish is with boxing and helping youth in the near future by applying it and showing that it can create change.
I feel like it's actually a fantastic tool because progress equals happiness.
100%.
And they're there with you and they see some change within themselves. They make the progress on the bags.
That's it.
They actually start to become happier.
Yeah. You're dead right.
And they can then correlate that progress with other things in life.
Yeah.
So it doesn't stop at boxing.
It applies everywhere.
It can apply into their whole life, which is beautiful. Yeah.
And that's what I know. That's what I consciously do, especially with the young ones, is if one thing looks good out of the motion or action they're doing, I'd say fucking good work. That's better than last week. Everything else might look shit, but I'm not going to worry about that. You've done one thing good work. Because then that way they feel that sense of achievement. Okay, I'm getting better. They hit the pad, it makes a sound, a pop sound. Like, oh, that's actually good. Don't get me wrong, I won't go piss in their pocket if I think something's completely off. But we're not training for the Olympics, man.
And that helps their serotonin production. You're telling them that helps them become.
That's it.
Yeah, it's actually.
And you're just building blocks. You just keep building, and that's to give them a sense of achievement, sense of progress, and that's magic for any person. Yeah.
So someone with autism struggles socially in general. Is that generally speaking?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, their brain is wired differently to understand social cues.
Yeah. Okay.
So you say, hey, how are you? Or like, you if you kind of like make a gesture and some people kind of go, what was that face about?
You have to understand.
It's very hard to kind of gauge those cues for people that are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
To kind of gauge, maybe something's off about Jono today. It's very, because they're wired in a way that they're in their own mind and they're in routine. So that's why.
So they're not over analyzing the external.
They don't know. They don't analyze. They actually do the opposite.
Yeah, they go in a shell.
But they're constantly sensory seeking. So they're constantly needing things, right? To either, whether it's touch, whether it's, if you think of your five senses, they're constantly needing.
Getting that routine helped immensely.
Yeah.
Man, this guy was cracking jokes. Like I said, exactly what he's saying. He wouldn't speak to anybody walking, hi, go in. He'll just speak to me. Very codependent too, right? If I'm not there, fuck, where are you? I'm here, man. Fuck, come. Let's vacuum the bathrooms. I always make sure I keep him busy. To a point where I'm like, okay, you're going to chill with these 3 trainers. Do a bit of pads with him. I'll be back soon. I'll quickly go for a meeting, come back. Fuck, this guy's having the time of his life. I'm like, fuck. So that tells me, again, it comes back to that homeless guy on the street. Are you going to sit back and think, look at this crazy guy, fucking, but how are you going to help him? You can't help a kid like this. Put him in the loony bin. No. Take the time. Do whatever you can. If you are capable, not anyone can do this. If you are capable, help these people. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody, but that's what I love to do. And it's effortless for me. You ask my missus, I come home, she's like, fuck, how do you do it? I don't know, man. It's easy. I love it.
To me, everyone's purpose is to leave this earth better than you found it. And people go their whole lives trying to work out what their purpose is, or they'll go their whole lives and never know what it is. But to me, it's leaving the world better than you found it. And the deeper you go into that, the more you're fulfilling your purpose. And I feel like that's exactly what.
But it's so fulfilling for your heart. Like you heard me say before, I always say there's not a lot of things in life that make me happy. I always said it's PlayStation, training, and what's the other thing I said? When my daughter was born, my daughter. Otherwise, I'm a grumpy cunt, right? I might not look it, but there's not a lot of stuff that bring me joy. I'm always in my head. But then one day I drove and I was like, you know what fucking makes me happy? When I get these messages or these people tell me, fuck, bro, thanks to you, I'm not doing this. You remember what you said that time? Or, fuck, you've changed my life. I was like, fuck, that's how I found my purpose. And exactly that is like knowing that you've created change for someone else. it's fulfilling.
So
And you know, just going back on your point, Jono, the life of a neurodivergent kid or neurodivergent person, right? Neurodivergence is autism, ADHD, intellectual disability, Tourette's. It's all kind of bundled up into this one way that this person thinks things differently, right? But if you look at our government schools or schools in general, they're built for neurotypical kids. They're built for kids that kind of know, listen, be quiet, talk when you put your hand up. Whereas for a neurodivergent kid or that kid, they don't learn that way,
No.
right? So it's really difficult. So it becomes a lot of work. So then he gets home, he's exhausted,
Yeah.
right? And so then his parents will say, go and do this. No, he's going to go and, because that's how he regulates, and that's how he will regulate by unleashing,
Yeah.
right? And what Gwayne is showing is that he's got another tool to regulate now.
Yeah.
Because it's been such a hard, because school's not for everybody, and even life in general and socializing is not for everybody, but we're made to kind of socialize in a specific way, right? Eye contact. A lot of them don't like eye contact. And a lot of autistic kids will avoid eye contact, and then people will think, what's wrong? But it's just them trying to feel safe, right? And everyone else is trying to force them to think a certain way.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think it's important that this kind of way of a structured physical activity can help him or them regulate their system, builds confidence, you know?
yeah. So now, are there any more clients? Like, what is your?
Yeah. So I've got a few other boys I'm working with at the moment. I've got about I think 4 other.
Yeah.
So not necessarily all the time these kids are troubled.
Yeah.
Right. So these are 4 others I'm intimately sort of working with. So 2 of them are great kids, does great in school and so forth. I won't mention names, but again, those 2 good kids. So I just basically check in with them, like, you know, on a Monday, like today I'll give them their weekly program.
Yeah.
This is what you do. On a Saturday, we get together, we train together. But in those sessions, I've got those seeds I plant, you know what I mean? To build good character, and because they look up to me. So I'm gonna make it, how can I say, I'll lead by example, but also teach them how to be tough young men. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Then 2 other boys that I work with, like, they're good kids. I speak to this one because I've experienced both of their feelings. So I already, like, when I speak to them on the phone, let's go through a few things. And man, me and this kid will speak for 20 minutes when I check in with him. And he's like, fucking hell, man. I said, man, don't stress. It's okay. You're only 19. You put a lot of pressure on yourself. It's all right to lash out. You must understand this is how parents think. Just get them to think differently. Oh, fuck, you're right, Gwayne. It's all right. I see you at boxing on Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So those are the ones. And the schools. That's the other one. That's why I love working with those boys. Yeah. And sort of in the new year, I want to sort of try to work with a bit more, do a bit more work with these schools, like the St. Joseph's or the St. Ignatius, and some of maybe the juvie centers. I'd love to do some work there. I think me and you had a chat about it. So in the past I worked with Parkville, did the December boxing programs with Parkville Juvie Center. But anyway, I love that. So I want to sort of just get momentum behind it for the new year.
My father he's retired now, but he was in youth justice, social working, and a lot of they do what they can, and they're taught, and they do help a lot of people, but 90% of the time the kids are back on the street, and they don't really have that good outlet. I feel like something like this would help a lot of people.
But think about it, right? It's so hard and labor intensive. You got to think what's sustainable. Yes, we can be there to help them and spend some time with them. But what I'm trying to do is what's the outcome? What are you setting yourself up for? Like I use myself as an example. I was a piece of shit growing up, right? But I've always made sure I did the right thing. I didn't cry victim. I teach them these lessons, right? They'll tell me their story again. I won't go measure dicks with them. Why not listen? And I'm like, no, maybe think it like this. Like, oh, you're right, Gwayne. Because otherwise, if I'm going to compare with them or I want to preach to them, what are you going to get? Resistance, right? But you want to make sure there's an outcome. You want to be a pro boxer one day? Well, you want to be a boxing coach. You want to go into construction. What do you want to do? Use this as a drive, as a tool, like I did. So, but with what happens with the youth workers and so forth, I know because I always speak to the ones from these schools, they can only do so much. But what then? You know, what's the end product? And that's something that I'd love to do. Is like, there's a mission here. Okay, what are you going to do? Okay, use boxing as a tool. Gwayne's the speaker box. But there's a pathway. Do you want to make it one day? You want to do something? You don't have to be a rocket scientist or engineer or a guy with like fucking, I don't know, whatever, computer programmer. You can be whatever you want to be. Number one, let's focus on being a good person, being disciplined, and getting something to fire that spark. Be around good people. Number one, very important, is to have a community of these people, because then there's like-minded people that inspire each other. And then build from there and have an outcome, have an end result. Rather than like, hey, I'm going to do good. Hey, guys, fuck, look at me, I'm doing good. And then poof, I fuck off. What's going to happen? The sandcastle is going to get swallowed by the sea.
Give us an example of what an outcome looks like.
An outcome in my eyes, which this is what I'm currently sort of have in mind with what I'm doing with, say, let's take that one kid in particular. Or anyone. So let's say you take these kids in particular. What's your outcome? What is your goal? So in this whole process that I do, is what's your goal? All right, with boxing, some of them, oh man, I want to be a pro boxer. All right. But you know what it takes, man. You got to train. Or I want to be a coach. But so what is your, what do you want to be? Where do you want to see yourself? Do you want to go to university? Do you want to be an engineer? Does it make sense? That's my end goal. That's my outcome.
Okay.
Right? But when you build a house, you build with the foundation. Right? You already got someone with a rocky foundation. So you start from the bottom. Discipline, buy-in. Okay, now that once you get their buy-in, that's when you start building. And you use that's that same structure. Lay your first layer of bricks. Where are you now? What do you want to do? The brick color might change 10 times by the time you get to the windows. That's all right, but at least you're building bricks. And then by the time you're there, all right, where are you now? You know what? I reckon I want to go to the army. Yeah, it's better than the fucking streets. You know what I mean? It's better than juvie. Mad. Let's see. I speak to people I know, put them in contact, and there you go. You know what I mean? Sounds simple, but this is my logic.
Helping them on their life journey,
That's
essentially.
it. And not giving up.
Yeah.
You know?
So there's an age bracket that you want to work with mainly.
I work with all sorts of people at the moment. I say age bracket, yes, because I believe between the ages of 14 and 18, funny story my dad used to tell me, is like when you, after 18 and you're still stealing, they must shoot you to change you because you'll never change. Not saying no one will change after 18. I fucking changed, but does it make sense?
Yeah.
There's sort of that mentality of you bend a tree while it's young so it can grow straight from there.
That's literally what he would have done.
It's all right, man. It's all right. But do you understand that thinking? So I always say that, man. You got a fresh canvas which you can work with, and if you can have that impact at that age, you can divert the journey of the course of their journey, right? But it doesn't mean like I've worked with some of my mates, even like to PTs and so forth. Same thing at 25, maybe 30, whatever. Like I've done some things with close mates of mine, which fucking changed the whole outlook in life and saved them off the ledge. You know what I mean?
So what's Gwayne look like in 5 years?
Probably grey, bro. I don't know.
What is he doing?
No,
Just before you answer that, what does this, because let's touch on that, what does this project look like on its highest level? Like what's your vision for this? Where do you see it
Man,
going?
That's basically my question.
Yeah. So the 5-year thing and the vision for it, man, is to be able to multiply me.
Yeah.
To work with like-minded people that's got that genuine care to want to do this and have, how can I say, do this on a level where you can do multiple people at a time. Does that make sense?
Nice.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, great.
Like, is it scalable to a gym? Is it scalable to multiple gyms, or does it not work?
I don't like to say like the word is scalable to gyms. I don't believe it. It's a gym.
You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
So it's not a gym thing.
I don't believe it's a gym where it's like, hey, you got to
Is it at the parks? Like where?
Yeah, look.
Where and how does it happen?
The way I see it is, a space can be a space.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
train people out of any space.
A town hall,
Well, yeah,
maybe
whichever.
something like that.
My brain's not quite there of thinking about a gym
Yeah.
and so forth.
Yeah. And
My brain is being able to scale what I'm doing, copy paste Gwayne with different people. That's you got a whole army of people that's got the same mindset, so you can help. Right? Whether you go straight to a juvie and run programs, whether you go straight to these schools with these kids from disadvantaged backgrounds, you can do these things at a gym. Like at the moment, like I'm helping the Richmond boys, those kids out of Fightford and Collingwood. I don't necessarily need a place to do it. That to me, when you look at that like this, like okay, you need a gym, you need capital. Now it's just like okay, this no man, it's something that. Can I say, yeah, fuck, you can use a PCYC. Yeah,
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Going on his point, I just want to touch a little bit about what comes up for me when you speak about that. Is when I first started studying psychology, I used to always think to myself, I've got to help everybody, right? And what happens is when you think you got to help everybody in the world, you really forget who you are, and you lose yourself. And you don't understand your boundaries.
That's
right?
it. This is exactly what I spoke
you
about earlier. Yeah.
And you don't understand your boundaries, and you need to go, this is my capacity. This is what I can help with people. And that's about it. You know, you only help with the people that you have at that given moment.
Yeah.
Right? They're there for a reason.
Yeah.
And you're there for their reason.
Yeah.
Right?
A question I've asked the last 30 guests, and I don't need to ask this to you, but I'm just going to mention it, is what would you do if your money wasn't a thing? And I already know your answer because you'd be doing exactly what you're doing now.
Exactly what I'm doing, man.
That means you fully found your purpose.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about it, man.
One question. One question.
Just quickly,
I had.
just to touch on it. Well, growing up, and you've been there too, but I used to go there as a kid. It was called Long John's in Preston, and it was just a town hall. Had like nine or 12 bags set up in a grid, and you just circuit. There was 2 rings, and you just gold coin donation on the way in. You put that down, you write your name, and it kind of seems like that culture of like. It's just an easy, seamless, cheap thing. It doesn't. It's not about the money.
Accessible,
most of the trainers there they were like
donating
just guys.
time.
Yeah, they donate their time. They're just there training. But
That's cool.
it sounds like something similar to that. But
part of the
I was
community.
having a conversation the other day, and that place actually shut down a couple of years ago. And I feel like maybe boxing was a big outlet back in the day for a lot of young kids, a lot of even older guys. It was an outlet, but I feel like we've probably lost it.
No,
Yeah.
We've probably lost it to MMA. It's still there, but it's lost traction. But I feel like now you're probably bringing it back
Yeah.
and to another level.
Yeah. No, 100% to another level. Something that's impactful and that makes sense. Black and white. Doesn't have to be complicated. Just fucking help.
I feel like boxing now.
Yeah.
I've got pads in the car.
Yeah.
It's okay.
One question I want to ask is, when you were at your lowest in your life, what was the thing that you would say to yourself? What was something that you would say to yourself to get you out of that kind of rut as an adult or as a youth? What was something that you did to get you out of this kind of negative mindset or this depressed state? What did you turn to?
Look, nothing could get me out of that mindset just by letting fucking time do its course. But I remember once I sort of, how can I say, I got a daughter, 7, 8 years old now. That was one thing I've always said, like since when I started sort of working and hustling, I've worked for my family one day. And back then, when I made myself the promise, I'll never experience what I've experienced here. And I'll do the best I can. That's part of my hard work and drive, is that my family one day, so I started working already for my 8-year-old that I've got now, so they don't experience this. So every time I got myself in that, when I slip in gears and I'm wheel spinning, I was like, doesn't matter what, you just got to stick through this. I've known by now already this is temporary. It's going to feel better. Just ride this fucking shit out, whatever that feeling is. But don't do this for your future kids one day. Because you made yourself a promise that you're not let none of them experience what you've experienced. So just get back up on your fucking horse and start riding so you can work and do whatever I needed to do to set up for her today and for them to come.
Nice.
I'm going to ask a psychologist question too now. If you could go back to and fully feel you as a 6-year-old boy, what would you tell yourself?
I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
I would, maybe what I'm going to tell myself now is going to change my course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing. I just go see the 6-year-old boy, look at him, give him a tap on the back and leave. That's it.
Nice.
Let him experience his shit.
Nice.
Let him get through it. Yeah.
Love
What
that.
can you do?
Yeah, nice. Love
It's
it.
life, man. It's the experience. It's the journey.
That's it. You got to
And-
feel it.
Yeah, and I think in my world and what I think is, I think if you have a connection to God, you know, especially Jesus, like Jesus Christ, like that journey in itself will always, he'll be there with you, you know, and guiding you through all the times of darkness
100%.
and whatever it is to get through. And maybe, you know, whatever age you got baptized and whatever, but maybe like life always leads to it's the journey. There is
That's
no
it.
time in that, in
There's
the
no
spiritual
time.
world.
It's already
you know?
planned for you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Man
crazy.
make plan and God laughs. You've heard that?
it's insane.
We can't make the plan. Hence why we can't go change it.
Yeah,
This is how it was intended to be. And this is where I'm intended to be right now.
Yeah.
it's all the journey,
change it?
man. And it's still the journey. Even now,
That's
like
it.
everything you're experiencing now
That's
is
it.
just as much of the journey as it was when it was
1,000,000%.
tough or whatever it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
Adversity is the growth.
Mm.
That's it. It helps you
100%.
become the highest pledged human being that you can be.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. And a story that I'll tell Jono, it was something that I said to Jono last week was, you know, when you're a young boy and let's say your mum and dad pick you up from school every single day, 5 days a week, your mum and dad are there, right? You know, they're coming. I know at 4 o'clock, my mum and dad are there. I don't need to have faith in my parents because I know they're coming. It's the things that you don't know that require faith.
Yeah.
They're the most powerful things because do you get what I'm
100%,
saying?
yeah.
Like in not knowing is the need for faith.
Yeah.
That is the most beautiful part of life.
Yeah.
In the not knowing, in that action. You know what I'm saying? So
That's what keeps
we
faith
need
strong.
to have the faith in, like, if we knew Jesus Christ was here or, you know, was around, or you wouldn't need to have faith because you know, he's here.
Yeah.
But we need to have faith.
I can go steal that
because-
car, but it's okay. God forgives.
Yeah,
No,
that's it.
No, I get you, man. And yeah, that's been a major player. Like I said, not a lot of people even know, man. I'm very religious.
But thank
Give
you,
it to myself.
honestly, thank you for sharing your story. I know it would be hard to talk about personal stuff like that, you know, especially.
No, 100%, man. Look, man, I usually don't want to, and I was contemplating today if I'm going to or not. But after speaking to you, I feel it's important because you said it too before, you keep holding back, you know, too humble, too nice. Why does Gwayne, who am I and why am I doing it? Why am I doing this and why am I so successful in doing this? You got to know the whole story.
Superpower.
This is how it is. This is my gift. You
Love
know?
it.
And that's the part. That's
Just
the
one
journey.
other thing I've noticed. I'm in a podcast with 3 fathers of girls, young girls. What is it like? Because I don't have any kids.
Best feeling
Best
ever,
thing in the
bro.
whole world,
Yeah.
man.
Bro, it's the
Daughters are the best.
Best
Fuck.
feeling
Yeah.
ever. That's it, man. How old's your daughter?
She's 2.5.
Fucking what an age. Yours, John?
3 and 2.
Mate, yeah, mine is like turning 8 in December. It's my
Wow.
best friend now.
Man.
Huh? The
I
cutest
can't- oh
thing,
my
doing
God.
hair,
Far
this, that.
out.
You know,
beautiful.
going on
It's honestly,
adventures,
you can't explain it to a non-girl dad. It's,
listening to conversations.
it's unexplainable, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does it change a shift in thinking compared to like what you did, how you thought before you had a kid?
1,000,000%.
yeah.
About life?
100%. Become very selfless. No matter you have a boy or girl.
And you constantly think about them when you're not there?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
they're not there in
sort
front of you?
For me, not really.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, no, when you're in, if I'm at work and I'm having a fucking day, it's not thinking about it, but like,
Yeah.
When
When
I
you
get
catch
home-
yourself drifting
but-
and think about the cuteness, you
when
like
I get
smile.
home and if I have the whole fucking worlds on my shoulders and I see her, it just melts away. Like
Yeah.
nothing matters anymore.
That's beautiful.
That's probably the
Yeah,
best.
love
Mate,
that.
then they start talking and telling you they love you and stuff. You just melt like an ice cream.
That's beautiful.
It definitely softens you a lot.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
softens you, huh?
Yeah, fucking it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Love it.
Hey, on the topic of kids, So before we were talking about, kids seeking the validation of other people because of, certain things like traumas and whatever else. But then there's also, you hear that, or we know that when kids get to their teenage years, they no longer want to be friends with their parents. It's not cool to hang out with your parents or as much anyway. So then they start seeking what was it? It was the Maslow's pyramid of hierarchy. What was it though? What was it?
So belonging?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the sense of belonging for a teenage kid, they're no longer seeking it from their parents, whether they've come from a broken home, a good home, whatever the dynamic. In theory, kids at that age are now seeking validation from
Friends.
other people, friends, people they look up to, the guys in the street, the people that look cool, whatever it is. So then what sort of differentiates it? Like, because if they're gonna start seeking validation from other people,
I'll tell you what differentiates it. The relationship with their parents.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what a kid learns from outside, right? Because what's going to happen is there's a thing called co-regulation, right? When if your kid falls on the floor, they go, "Where's mum? Where's dad? I need to feel safe. Hug me, hold me," right? You hold them, you rock them, right? After a while, they're still doing that, right? And so you develop this habit with your kid to kind of go, yeah, that's outside in the big world. Yeah, they teach this thing in the big world, but really, that's not how we see it in our family. And this is how we process this. But if that kid is not able to kind of talk about it and process it, they're going to think it's true. So that's where the parents come into play.
Yeah.
That's where your primary caregiver has to kind of go, yeah, there is this thing that they're teaching at school. And that's why it's important as parents to kind of say, what are you learning? What's happening there? And unpack it and make sense of it with
You
them.
sort of find sometimes parents are just like not blasé. They don't give that
Well,
time.
they don't have time.
They be on the phone, the kid's trying to talk to them. It's like,
It's really
you got to
difficult.
make sure you give them that time, because that way, that's how you build that relationship with that kid. So hopefully one day, I always say this to everyone, you're going to have problems when the boys rock up. I said, I don't think I will. You know what I mean? They think, oh, wait till she's older. I think, oh, but I honestly don't think I will, because I make sure, actively make sure when she talks, I make her feel heard, even from a young age. So they can always come to you and speak openly and be honest and don't feel like they're in shit and this and that. So then one day, if that boy rocks up, she can bash him, not me.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's
though?
conscious
Do you get-
parenting.
Do you get what I'm saying?
conscious
Yeah, so
parenting.
conscious parenting essentially helps.
Well, it helps with anything, right? Because before we had Google, who do we go to?
Your
We
parents.
went to our parents,
No,
right?
makes sense.
People still
You're right.
go to their parents, and kids go to their parents still, because their parents have kind of had this pattern of thinking for so long that they process information in the world in a certain way. And so then if your parent is not there, they're going to go, maybe because I'm still wanting this sense of belonging, maybe I'm going to agree with this person, this kid, because it's a bit easier now because I'm getting a sense of belonging. And, and so that's where, there's a really good book by, I forgot his name, but it's called The Boy Who Was Raised as a Dog. Right? And it sounds really bad. Working in prisons, you don't want to call people dogs and whatever. But it's about how this psychiatrist found a lot of these traumatized kids, and what he did was reparenting them. He held them. He showed them that you just need to be held. You just need to be heard. You just need to be present there with them, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing with traumatized kids. It's an amazing book. I would highly recommend that. But I think you really need to kind of just, process the information, because a lot of the time when people are so busy, they're quick to blame someone else, and they go, these people here are putting all this information or misinformation for my children, but really misinformation has been there for hundreds of years. It's just the parents now have no time to process it with them. That's the difficulty.
Yeah.
And that goes to
You know
what you
what I
said
mean?
before, like giving the children time.
Yeah.
Is spending time with them. I think time is really love. Like you,
100%, yeah.
I don't think love to a child is, oh my
Cuddles
God, I
and
love you
kisses.
so
No,
much.
it's time.
I think it's
No.
just time.
Yeah,
It's
and
actually
giving them that
listening to them
attention.
That's
because
the love
I say
language.
this
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
experience because I found myself sometimes my partner would be like, hey, she's talking to you and I'll be fucking scrolling like an idiot. Right? I say it out because this is important.
Yeah.
But then I started making a conscious decision, conscious effort because my daughter will be talking to me, but whether it's a lot of shit or something that's important to her. And then I'm engaging rather than like, Daddy, no. And I'm, what? Then what's gonna happen after time if she keeps doing that? If that keeps happening.
You got to do everything consciously.
You gotta so many things.
I do that too. At the end of the day, it's hard. Like
It's hard.
I don't do it scrolling. I do it more working. But it's still doing it.
scrolling,
They don't
yeah.
know the difference.
You
At the end
gotta
of the
like
day.
what I've learned as a father is to have that uninterrupted time
100%.
when I have her
Yeah.
and just
100%.
fuck my series, even though I love watching my shows while she's there, watch scrolling, whatever. But like put everything aside and actually making a conscious effort to spend every second with her.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that I'm on a
And
different boat.
it's going to be easier with one kid. Like one kid's easier to give
Yeah.
attention to. Then when you got two kids, they both want your
Yeah.
attention. You're diverting your attention
Yeah.
constantly from one to the other.
You
You
got
know?
a freak coming up, mate.
It's
I can't wait
crazy.
to have more.
Hey, Gwayne, thank you
Thank
for
you,
sharing
man.
your
You're
story,
welcome.
man.
No, thanks,
Thank
man.
you,
I look
boys.
forward to looking at your journey now, man. And
Yeah.
thank you so much. It was amazing to hear your story.
How can people
thank
find
you.
you?
How do people find me?
Yeah.
What do you
Like
mean?
as in online
it's-
and-
yeah, on I've got what's this Instagram?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they usually just hit you up on Instagram?
Yeah, they just usually hit me up on Instagram. Most people, because obviously I'm a boxing coach and so
Nice.
forth. I've got nothing about this yet on there.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Probably from next year I'll build it up and sort
Nice.
of. But yeah, people usually find me on Instagram. Hey, bro, do you have sessions?
No,
Are you open to marketing this thing, like even for what it is, like showing the story? Because like what you're saying about
Yeah, I
that
think
kid
it's
sounds
amazing.
like the movie The Blind Side. You know, like it's like a movie. It's
Yeah. Look, I was thinking I wanted to do this because obviously, like recently, I was doing my own thing, sort of thing. But from next year, I sort of want to divert the attention to it. I have people always see me on Instagram as like again that guy with all the tattoos and the pads. He looks scary. This is that visual that people always give, but. Fuck, man, like I said, a lot of people meet me and like, man, you're actually a nice guy. I always hear this. There's always this contrast, right? But I just, I want to rather put my face on there. I want to put my heart on there and with a purpose.
Yeah.
So then people see, fuck, this guy, this is what he's actually doing. This is why he's successful in boxing or coaching is because he actually gives people genuine care, all that. But not only that, the thing is what I'm doing with youth and so forth, I'd like to put it on there. And so people can see that. It's more wholesome. Rather than look at me, I'm a boxing coach.
When I first saw you on the pads on Instagram, I thought you were a soft teddy bear. I could see through you.
you got the lenses then. You got the lenses. Your intuition's sharp.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
God
boys.
bless you, brother.
God bless.
Easy done. Thank
Lots
you,
of
boys.
love, man.
Thank you so much for making it this far. And the fact that you made it this far, we want to reward you. If you comment, I love you on any of our pinned posts, we'll send you a $100 Organic Reflection voucher, valid for the first 5 people only. God bless you guys and thank you so much.